to have the building approved. So I met with the golf course committee, Jerry Klausman, and then he met with the committee. And I thought, well, it'll take a week or two before they just, approve it, because there's a covenant out there. You have to have so many square feet and the right colors and the brick and our stone and whatever else. So the next day I get a phone call and they said, well, we approve it 100%. And I told them about the variance, because I still don't think I need a variance, but for insurance policies, because I did have my builders go out there and measure it out. But we'll go by the plot line. So anyway, they approved that, and they said, we are not going to have a problem with your variance, because really the only person it affects is the golf course, which is Dave Backlund, and the front of the east unit. Okay, originally I was just going to have decks. So if you have a deck, you're okay, but if you have a roof over it, you have to measure from the roof and the overhang, which is another 2 feet, which brings it to 12 something, whatever. So now we got one other problem. There's a cart path out there, which is about 12 feet wide. Okay, guess where that goes? Right on my property. Somebody, absolutely, 100% on my property where my building is sitting. So, and that's another reason I want to be a good neighbor. I don't want to cause trouble. That cart path is a great drainage for water when it rains. When it really rains, it runs down, and they have a drainage on the south side between the tee box, between my property and the number 2 tee box. Okay, now if you look at this plot, okay, this is it. See, now if I would cock it this way and this way, it would fit. But the only problem doing that too, I'm going to be looking east, and I have wonderful neighbors to the north, the DeWalds, that just moved in a quality home. So if I did that, that would block off their view to the east quite a bit. And I want to be a good neighbor. So basically, have you guys been out there to see it at all? Or okay, so to the east, we have nothing but rough, okay? And then probably, I would say, maybe a wedge away is where you would build houses. There's nothing developed there yet. So there's really nothing directly to the east. And then to the west would be the cul-de-sac, okay? And the reason I moved it over a little bit was to make sure there's enough room between my building and the cart path, so I don't disturb that, okay? Because I'd hate to have Mr. Backlund tear that up. Because legally, I could ask him to do that, but I'm not going to do that if we can work all this out. So then I did some research on this, where usually to grant a variance like this, and I'm all about rules, you'd have to have a hardship. Well, if you look at the plot line, or the plan here, the plot, most plots, if you see all the plots on the golf course, they're all pretty much square or rectangular, okay? So it's easy to put a house, whatever, 30 by whatever, and you can stay within it, okay? But my lot, of course, who designed it? No, I'm kidding. It's very nice, but it's a little, it's like a puzzle, okay? Instead of being like rectangular, bringing it out here over and over and over, it goes to a point here, and then it goes points here. So actually, if you look at the middle of my building on the east side, to the lot line, I'm 40 feet, okay? But the front, where you have to take the roof line, okay, let's see, 12.2, which would be 10.2, because you have to take the roof line. But the thing is, the roof's going to be up there about 18, 20 feet off the ground. and the deck will be about probably 12 feet off the ground. So, and then over on the other side, you know, I moved it, what, about 5 feet from the original? So it's 21.7, which would be 19.7. Well, if you take it from the road, if the road was straight without the cul-de-sac, I would have 30 feet, okay? Which averages about 26 feet because you've got 21 feet. You got to take it to the, you know, nearest point where the cul-de-sac curves in. So basically, there's nobody to the east, there's nobody to the west, and there's nobody to the south except a fairway. And the west, if anybody does build to the west, you're going to be quite a ways away because it'd be across the cul-de-sac. It's at the end of the cul-de-sac on the east side. So, and I had my builder go out there and measure everything off, and he's surprised I'm even doing a variance. I said, well, maybe I'll have to ask for my $100 back. But no, I can understand with the point. If you look at the points here, it's like a triangle, okay? So what I'm saying is, if Mr. Backlund has no problem with it, because he wants to get that thing developed out there, plus I'm looking at, you know, for whether I rent them or sell them, you know, the golfers, they'll probably be more elderly people. They can, you know, use that cart path to get to number one to tee off. And I hate to have that cart path torn up, so. Do you have any questions? Pardon?
You must have purchased your lot
There's no easement.
subject to the easement?
There's no easement. And so, and I don't, you know, I don't want to cause any trouble. Because I want to get along, I want to be a good neighbor, and, you know, and I look at it this way. Now, there's been a couple people that really don't have, I don't know, there's a couple people, but I'm like, really? You know, this isn't LA Country Club, this is Mitchell, South Dakota. And I don't know if you guys played other golf courses. I happen to be kind of an ex-golfer, but Yankton I played the other year. My gosh, they've got big apartment complexes out there. They're beautiful.
Where's the cars going to park?
Toward the south. You'll drive, I've got plenty of room, okay, right here. You see all this property? This is all my property here. So we'll come in off the cul-de-sac, and yeah, I'm gonna have to spend, can I have a TIF? No. I'm gonna have a big parking, a big road, and then to pull in. Each one will have their own 2 garages, oversized garages, so you can get a golf cart in. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess you call them that.
What are the dimensions of the building?
140 by 38. I don't know. Here, okay, the covenant has to be 1,900 square feet, so I'm like right on that.
Your width of each unit is 38 feet deep.
God, I wish I'd have brought the blueprint. It would be, God, I don't know, what goes into 140? I'm not very good in math.
Right, different from 20 up to 5. Subtract that.
All right, yeah, okay. Well, okay, the living room's 22 feet, and then the bedroom, it'd be about 30, it'd be probably close to, yeah, okay, that sounds about right.
It is R4, but
They're 2-level. No. It's a slab on,
lab on grade.
right. Yes. Well, you know where I got the idea? I got the idea from, you go down 11th and then go around 15th by Chalkstone. It was built in like 1971. where the garage is underneath. Yeah, on Chalkstone and that Parkview, isn't it? That drive kind of comes around. And I walked in there, I'm like, whoa, these are really, really nice. I mean, they're old, but they're kind of like the floor plan.
You gave us all these reasons why we should approve this.
Yes.
Is there any real reason that you couldn't twist it a little bit? And leave all
I
the
hate
rest?
to do that with my neighbor to the north. And here's another thing, is by twisting it a little bit, I'd like to have at least probably 30 feet of driveway or 25. If I twist it, then coming off the cul-de-sac, you're gonna lose, for safety reasons, I'm gonna have to narrow the road up to get into it. And I'd like to be able to have it so two cars can easily,
You say neighbors in the north, is that lot 18?
That would be DeWald's. Would that be directly to the north? They just moved in a house. I just visited with them this morning. Yeah, very nice people. Very, very nice people. But there's nobody to the east. And if there ever is anybody to the east, they will be a rough or a fairway away. And then to the west, if they ever do build, and there is lots to the west, right now there's piles of dirt with weeds.
It's gonna be 2 stories?
Yeah,
Look at that, 1,000 something for
1,900 square feet. That's what the covenant is.
35 to 38 would be
What?
roughly 1,000 something.
It came in just under 1,900 square feet, but they're counting the entryway. Whoops, sorry.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's each unit.
right. That's the covenant. If you, I have,
5320 total.
I believe so. I have it, I have it on my blueprints if you'd like to see it, the exact square footage. And it's like so many upstairs, it's like 1,336 or something, and then down is like I don't know, just, it comes to like 86 or 66, whatever. But it's very nice. I mean, I just think, it'll be good for Mitchell, good for the tax base. And I think it'll help development out there too, because it's really taken a long time to get that place rolling.
Lot in the city limits?
I think it is,
Yes.
isn't it? Yeah, I wish it wasn't.
Yeah.
but
On this line, the dotted, or the purple line is the city limit.
don't.
So it's a city jurisdiction away.
Well, right, it's in the city limit.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
questions?
I just don't see a hardship. I mean, it's designed, I know you could put multifamily out there. It's R4, but it's new construction and
And you don't,
I don't see it.
not turning any dirt?
Well, I did a lot of research on it, and hardship, basically a definition, there's probably 3 different ways for hardship, and one is an irregular lot. Another one is, if you're just for financial purposes, to build a 3-plex, it's not as feasible. It just isn't. And there's some other things too, like safety issues, topography. And I was going to run off a stack of examples with variances, with hardships, but my copier ran out of ink. But, and I do have a little, some information about hardship because, well, here's one. I was running this off and it's kind of light. But
They've been looking at hardship and definitely.
Yeah.
where it's angled here,
Uh,
exceptional or extraordinary, yeah. But if you guys want to look at this plot to give you a bigger view of it, because you probably have more of a smaller, you can see how it, and then I have everything measured off here, you know, where if you go straight out, even from the deck, you got 25 feet, 25 feet, 40 feet. But then here is where it's, you know, it's just a point. Pardon? No, there'll be a door with probably, well, there'll probably be like some cement to come out, you know, and maybe a sidewalk to come around.
And your parking area is going to be where?
Underneath the main
Underneath the deck?
great room. Yes.
Okay.
That's why your number down.
Pardon?
Below?
Yes. And I designed it too because it's away, it's at the end and it's away. And I, you know, talked to Levon and Richard again. And, you know, it would be kind of, although it would be legal, but I think there'll be more privacy for my units and for the DeWalds because they pull in from the street. I'll pull in, we'll pull in from the end of the cul-de-sac on the south side, and there's nobody to the south. And there's plenty of land there to make it as wide as I want. It's just getting in. I wanted it wider, but I'm still within the, setbacks to the north, my north neighbor.
All right.
I've got one question. On this plan, it shows at one point the building 5.6 feet from the property.
Got 3. Code requires 3.
Okay.
That's side yard.
That's side yard.
Side yard.
That's not the setback that she.
No, she's asking for
She
the
meets
back
that
and the
one.
front.
I'm okay on those, yeah.
She could. That to me is the back, I don't know. That's why.
No, if you look
That's
at
the
the,
side.
look, that's next to 18, I think that's a side yard. It gets tricky on what exactly is the back, would it be 16 or would it be track 1?
Oh, that would be the side. then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's asking for is front and back. The code requires 25 front, 25 back, 3 on the side.
Oh, yeah, well, Mr. Lyman would be to the back of
On
me.
page 6, you would see that's kind of how, what's platted thus far. You would see that, you know, track J, not all of that is platted yet. At some point, you know,
There will be a plat there.
at some point, those will be platted out. And then the same on the, right behind there, you see, they just haven't.
Off of Doris Drive, it's not been all platted yet either.
Correct.
So we didn't have a preliminary plat on the Wild Oak project, did we?
Well, these are,
Yeah.
this is, yeah, you can kind of see what's left to
Yeah.
be platted.
Yeah.
Did Wild Oak bring in was their master plan one?
Yeah, this is
But they're showing us major tracks, not those
Not
lots,
breakouts?
not
yeah,
breakouts.
They got preliminary ones that are drawn out on master plans.
Yeah.
What you see on page 6 is what is platted thus far.
Sure.
And the red lines there.
Yeah,
that's
I'll just-
the city.
But a single unit home would probably fit.
Oh, yeah.
I'll show it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah,
Absolutely.
and that's,
Yeah.
I think more what they were looking
I think they've already.
for. But they've zoned it R4.
Here you go. This gives you an idea right here. See, here's the lot. Goes like that. And normally they go like this and this. But 25,
Right
25,
here.
40, this is where you gotta go by the rough line.
And
And it would look nice.
that's the one that just had the
All these have
farm
rough
home.
line.
Yeah.
You guys wanna have a little better idea as far as the lot? See, right here, this
Yeah.
is what, I could conk it this way, but here's where it points. There's nothing this way, there's nothing this way, there's nothing that way. And if you go straight out, it's 25 feet, and here's 40 feet. But see, this rough line, you gotta go from the rough line right here. The problem is, and Mr. Lyman's up here, but he's got all this property. which, and he doesn't have problems.
Actually, usually what I was thinking is.
No, that's.
No,
No,
this is front, that's right.
right, this is where,
This is.
yes. Yeah, anybody else want to see it? No?
All right, further questions? If not, we are ready for motion.
Well, I don't see a hardship. I make a motion to recommend denial. Over there.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to recommend to the council denial of the second. Doesn't see us. We can't believe that there's a hardship there because if it was turned into fit.
I can turn it, but I'll have very upset neighbors. What? No, I don't, I
Yeah.
want to be a good neighbor. I don't, this,
Is
I
there
can
fur-
turn it, it'll fit.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. You didn't vote.
So do you guys vote then?
We did. Abstain?
Really?
Yeah, I'm good at
Okay. 4 noes and an abstinence. All right, next
Can't
item.
believe this.
it. That only goes, it still goes to city
Yeah,
council.
council will hear Monday night.
Well, it will be going to court. I mean, I can't believe this. I thought this was and you guys granted a variance for the ex-mayor for a big shed?
Next item on the agenda, a plat from 8/25/15 for lots 1 and 2 of R.L. Decker First Edition on the west half of the southeast quarter of 29-10360. That was tabled from our meeting of the 25th of August, primarily because we didn't see any easements to get there.
Okay, on page 11 is the spot. Mr. Ryland is here, so he's got questions of what he's trying to. I think he addressed that public access, I believe, is addressed in here, but maybe you want to kind of elaborate.
You want to talk to us, Paul?
The easement was on the original, but it wasn't quite as explicit.
Aha, that was the issue.
Naturally, most owners prefer a private access without letting anybody and everybody in there, but we switched that over to public, and in the owner's certificate, also addressed it as being dedicated to the public.
Yeah.
Thank you, because we felt that if somebody else ends up with a piece of property up there at the north end, or, it'd be the north end, or they split that, that could be a real issue, is
Right.
what our thought was.
Yep, understood.
And obviously, the owner did too.
Yes. Yeah. Things have kind of changed now, as it turns out. It's all going to go to one child rather than two, but they still have to go through this particular process in order to honor the will,
Okay,
so to speak. You know more about that than I do, but
yep. All right. Is there further questions or discussion for Paul? If not, we are ready for motion.
Motion to recommend approval.
Moved and seconded that we recommend approval. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Next item,
thank you.
a plat. Thanks, Paul. A plat for lot 51 of Maui Farms Edition, a subdivision of the southeast quarter of 31-103-60. And this looks like, to me,
Falls right in
it pretty much falls right into what they have been doing out there, and it looks like it'll complete that block.
Kind of pretty much, yeah, it does.
Recommend approval.
Moved and seconded that approval be granted. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Other business.
Just thought I would include, if anybody's interested, you can let us know. There's an agenda there, the South Dakota Planner Conference, and this time it's here. So, you can take that, and let us know at a later date if you're interested. That's a preliminary agenda, so,
And
just thought I'd let you guys know.
what will really be interesting is the Friday afternoon, or the
Yeah,
29th, Thursday 29th afternoon session. Those guys are nice to listen to. They're real interesting. What's that?
here. No,
Next best thing.
You go to Las Vegas.
so, this is more like if you are interested, or just let us know. But this is a preliminary.
You're in Las Vegas. I'll save you some money if you get along.
So, if you are, okay.
So am I.
Okay.
You know, you're not gonna.
So am I.
Grass to be crowned and it's all down.